A man who planned a terror attack with his friend, who then went on to a fatal knife rampage at a Manchester synagogue less than 2 months later, has been jailed for life after pleading guilty to a terrorism offence. Mohammad Bashir was arrested last November for assisting a terror plot targeting the UK Defence Academy in Oxfordshire. Let's take a listen to the judge's sentencing remarks.
You are Manchester born and bred. You have not revealed what caused you to turn on the society that you had grown up in, gone to school and college in, worked in, and where your family was able to practice your religion in freedom and peace. Your interactions caught on video in the mosque on the 9th of August show two equally engaged and enthusiastic men planning an atrocity against a British military facility for religious and political reasons. Your example must stand as a warning to men who are attracted by this form of militant, violent and destructive Islam for religious or political reasons.
This CCTV released by counter-terrorism policing shows Bashir and Manchester synagogue attacker Jihad al Shamie planning an attack. He was charged with carrying out hostile reconnaissance on the academy with the man who went on to kill two men during the attack on Heaton Park Synagogue last October. Our North of England correspondent Katie Barnfield is at Manchester Crown Court.
Well, this sentencing today was for Mohammad Bashir, who was a long-standing friend of Jihad al Shamie. They've been friends since at least 2023, and he was jailed for life with a minimum term of 17 years today for planning a separate terror attack with Jihad al Shamie 2 months before al Shamie went on to attack the Heaton Park Synagogue alone. Police said the two men were both deeply anti-Semitic, and that was their driving motivation. They'd been planning to target the UK Defence Academy in Swindon because they believed that it was being used to train Israeli Defence Forces soldiers. They even drove down to the base for reconnaissance on the 14th of August last year, the two of them, in al Shamie's black Kia Picanto, he would actually go on to use in the Manchester synagogue attack 2 months later. They conducted hostile reconnaissance when they were there. They even went inside the base as far as the reception area. Jihad al Shamie was making notes on his phone about security arrangements in a note entitled Espionage. The two of them had been in a WhatsApp group together that al Shamie had set up called Aspiring to the Ranks of the Elite, and they'd been sharing deeply anti-Semitic and extremist views in there. Bashir, we were told, had sent 2,000 messages to that group, including things like discussing martyrdom, and he was talking about restoring glory to Muslim lands by exterminating Jewish men and taking Jewish women as concubines. Of course, 2 months after they planned this separate attack, Jihad al Shamie attacked the Manchester synagogue, the Heaton Park synagogue, alone. 2 people were killed and he himself was shot dead by police, although police said that they accepted Mohammad Bashir was not involved in that attack. Now, this case has led to an apology from Greater Manchester Police saying that now that this case is concluded, they can talk about their previous contact with Jihad al Shamie and that they believed they might have missed opportunities to stop him. It was only after the synagogue attack in October last year that police, counter-terror police, realised that Greater Manchester Police had 2 of Jihad al Shamie's phones that they had taken off him when he was arrested twice previously, once for breaching a non-molestation order and then again for rape. But at the time of those arrests, his handsets were not searched, and it turns out that those handsets had evidence on them of his plans with Mohammad Bashir to carry out a terror attack and had evidence of his extremist views. We've heard from Manchester Chief Constable Sir Stephen Watson. He has now apologised for this. He says, "It is clear that our not having reviewed the data available to us prior to the attack constitutes a missed opportunity. I am disappointed at the prospect of adding to the distress of all of those affected by the terrible events last October. For this, I am deeply sorry." And he clarifies that today was the first opportunity for him to give that information because these criminal proceedings had now concluded. Well, I'm joined now by Mark Levy, who's the Chief Executive of the Jewish Representative Council of Greater Manchester, and his father, Alan, is actually the chair of Heaton Park Synagogue. Mark, just firstly, your response to that apology from Greater Manchester Police?
Well, first and foremost, our thoughts need to go to the families of those who were murdered on Yom Kippur, along with the individuals and those connected with them who have had life-changing injuries. Now, it's naturally going to be a source of disappointment to the families, especially of Melvin and Adrian, to hear from the Chief Constable that there was a potential missed opportunity that could have led to this attack being foiled. But it's also imperative that at this stage we note that the community have faith in the Chief Constable, Sir Stephen Watson. He's been a wonderful friend to Jewish people across Greater Manchester since he assumed his role, and it is important that we let the independent investigation take its course. We note his apology, and we will comment further once the report has been received. But it's important that the community at this stage also express our thanks to Greater Manchester Police for the extensive way in which they have sought to care and reassure our community during what is obviously an incredibly difficult time.
Do you and the families of those who lost their lives in the attack accept that apology? Does it give you confidence in Greater Manchester Police going forward?
Well, it's important that we speak about how we find individuals and organisations at this time, and we have gone on record many times thanking Sir Stephen Watson and Greater Manchester Police for the way in which they handled the attack on the day. Their response was exemplary, turning up in a matter of minutes, and the incredible work of their officers subsequently in looking to reassure and keep our community safe during what continues to be an incredibly difficult time to be Jewish here in the UK. What you've got to remember is, in addition to this Mohammad Bashir plot, we've seen what happened in Preston, where an individual was found guilty of wanting to commit a marauding terrorist attack against Jewish people in North Manchester, which was foiled by Greater Manchester Police. And during my numerous interactions with the Chief Constable and the police force, we've had nothing but positive interactions with them.
So you do, at the moment, accept that apology? Or will you have to wait to see what happens in the investigation that's following?
Well, we have an amazing relationship with the Chief Constable. It's not down to me to accept an apology on behalf of other people. What we need to speak about is the length and depth and breadth of the relationship that we have with the police force, and it is important that our community know that they've gone to extreme lengths to look at caring for us and reassuring us so we can continue our lives as proud British Jews on a day-to-day basis.
The sentencing today of Mohammad Bashir, does it give you some comfort that he is now behind bars for life?
Absolutely. It's deeply distressing to us that an individual who has grown up very close to where the heart of the Jewish community is in North Manchester has been radicalised in a well-established mosque who want to target Jewish and Israeli targets. It is important that he received the life sentence that he did today, and we are pleased that this individual is now behind bars and not able to commit any crimes or terrorist attacks against my friends and family who all live in North Manchester. The very fact that Jihad al Shamie and Mohammad Bashir grew up in the heart of North Manchester, and we heard from the judge about how he had a very normal childhood. He had academic attainment, had not been unemployed, and he had been radicalised to want to target Jews going about their daily lives, needs to send shockwaves through the whole of UK society.
I mean, this is obviously a separate terror plot that the two of them were planning. You've spoken previously about security arrangements, things like that. Does this add to the fear that the Jewish community have? What do you think now needs to be done to reassure you and the rest of your community?
Well, we're trying to be strong and resilient. We don't want to have to live our lives behind walls with security guards. We want to continue our immense contribution to the UK wider community that has been the case for hundreds of years now. But the facts of the matter are, we are not leading dignified lives at the minute because our schools, our community centres, our synagogues are located behind these huge fences with security guards. And whilst we can welcome the £250 million given by government to help protect our community, that's money that we don't want to accept. We don't want to live our lives in this way. And it's a moral failing on the whole of society that Jewish people feel concerned and scared to be visibly identifiable as Jews on the streets of the UK. And the fact that there's a realisation that this country is not going to be as kind to my children as it has been to me should be sending shockwaves right across all of society. And we cannot fight this scourge of anti-Semitism alone. We are calling on the whole of the UK to stand alongside the Jewish community in solidarity and support to help us combat this extreme form of hatred that is leading to many people realising the UK might not be a home for them and their children.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much for joining me. That was Mark Levy there, Chief Executive of the Jewish Representative Council of Greater Manchester, whose father, Alan, is actually the chair of the Heaton Park Synagogue, responding there to that apology from the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police, Sir Stephen Watson, apologising for what he said was missed opportunities to stop the synagogue attacker, Jihad al Shamie.